As long as he isn't producing Springtime for Hitler.
And this is how the panel is going to go for the rest of this.
I was like, okay. His argument was, your name's Nathan.
So there was, in fact, life before going rogue. And what was that like? Well, it was a little bit divided. I mean, you had your heroes in Paragon City, you had your villains in the Rogue Isles, and very rarely did the two meet. So we provided a whole new neutral world, which is that of Pretoria, where your resistance and loyalists can get together. Well, we also had some other kind of challenges that we addressed with going rogue, and one of those challenges was we really didn't have a whole lot of cross-faction content. So we introduced the ability to go rogue. I mean, for the longest time, villains were kind of stuck in, the Rogue Isles. Well, now you can make your way over to Atlas Park, or still can, you can Amsterdams. Likewise with heroes, you can make your way over to the Rogue Isles once you've gone rogue. Our tutorials were, a little bit, basic is pretty much exactly what they were. We pretty much told you how to play our game. We didn't really give you any kind of mission, except that our mission was, click the button, walk here, attack that. And one of the things that we really wanted to do was kind of put you in the game faster and really get you involved in the game. So we had kind of two issues with this. One is we really wanted to show new players, which we were really trying to showcase with going on, was that veteran players will appreciate it and brand new players as well. But not all new players know how to play our game. So what we wanted to do is give you an option. Do you want to just get to the meat and hours, play the game, learn about Pretoria through the optional dialogue boxes, or do you just want to learn how to walk? And good. So we updated it. We kind of made it a cool cutscene. Has anyone not seen a tutorial? Just to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Oh, that one guy. Okay. So we got it upgraded. We actually did a lot of iterations on that just to make it really dynamic and interesting, and I think it was really successful. So another one of our challenges was that our graphics in 2004, 2005 were pretty freaking awesome, but technology evolves and graphic cards evolve, and our game, we had our physics upgrade a couple of years ago, but our graphically speaking, we hadn't done anything. So we introduced Ultra Mode with issue 17, and Pretoria, as you may or may not know, was basically built from the ground up with our Ultra Mode upgrade in mind, and it was pretty sweet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, Eric did it all himself. As the producer.
Using Excel.
You
Power of Excel, you never do.
So City of Heroes and City of Villains were very black and white. You either, saving people or you were trying to harm them, and everything was kind of very one-dimensional. But with going rogue, we gave you the ability to kind of walk that line, have that shades of gray morality. So we addressed quite a few things with this expansion, and I think we were pretty successful. So we kind of snuck in an early launch. We did it a little early with a soft launch, and we had a few reasons for this. Primarily just to make sure that all our systems were in place, our servers were working, so that when we did our official launch on the 17th, it would go off without a hitch. Now we had a couple of tiny hiccups, but for the most part, City of Heroes has stayed true to what we've done. Our City of Heroes launch was pretty near flawless. Our City of Villains launch was very clean as well, and so is this one, so we're really pleased with that. And obviously, from the feedback that we've received, especially the fact that the launch went so smoothly, and people are really excited about the content, and we had cues that maybe you guys agree with us, it was really pretty positive and well received. And go ahead and read this awesome feedback. And let us know when you're done.
Raise your hand when you're done.
I see your lips moving.
Fast reader.
Just
let me know if you see a token.
We only have hours.
Okay. Moving on. Left hand. Not. Okay. A little bit of data for you. So active characters, since we launched Going Rogue, a huge majority of people have actually taken part in our Going Rogue system, our alignment system. Overwhelming numbers. And over 3/4 of our active players have actually created Praetorians, which is fantastic, which means that it is pretty awesome. Although I was a little surprised about this little piece about the Dominators traffic and controllers being the most popular of types. But that's cool, so you're represented. We had a few rejections for our correctors, and not very many defenders went to the dark side. So that's good news. So let's talk about our post-mortem. Nate, take it away.
So talk a little bit about how we feel development went.
Awesome.
So first off, we wanted to talk about what we feel went right. First off, we created too much content. Part of that I'm saying that because, for example, there's over 300 missions were added to the game between the Going Road alignment system and Pretoria. And Pretoria in particular, there's no way you can play through all of the mission content in one playthrough of Pretoria 1 in 20. So, but in addition, we created too much content, and then we were keeping QA pretty busy. I don't think they saw their families a lot during the end times, as they call them, of the development. In addition, we feel we found the voice of the missions and the story very quickly, and we're able to really carry that all the way through the alignment system as well as through Pretoria. We really introduced, as Melissa said, shades of gray throughout the world and made a whole new starting world that is about shades of gray.
Shades of gray, that is my hair. Be quiet.
We were just teasing you about that. So Going Rogue, in addition to Going Rogue system, ended up needing just some tweaks and some iteration time. This was a system that had been discussed since City of Villains came out, right?
Yeah, you only switch a pass.
Yeah.
So that had been in discussion for a long time, and it scared people a lot, and just an endless list of edge cases came up. There was a page called Things That Scare.
Yes,
Things That
things that scare us and things that light us in there.
So, but it ended up coming in early, and it was the first thing we went into beta with, and generated very few bugs over the course of beta. In addition, Pretoria exceeded all of our expectations, and seems to have exceeded all the expectations of players and press and so forth. It really found a unique look and came together in a way that was impressive to us. Just every time we saw something new, we were pretty amazed by it. So what challenges arose? Which is how marketing asked me to say what went wrong. But some of the challenges, we really did take a highly iterative approach to content creation. So, which means that as we went through, we kept going through things over and over again, trying to find ways to make them better, and it made it a little harder to plan for our full scope. So things like mission content had to be adjusted to exactly how we had the zones come together. Things like just the way morality points worked adjusted to. We ended up with more morality missions than we initially thought we were going to have, so we wanted to adjust things to that. So it made it harder to predict exactly what the final product was going to be, but it really let us explore what we were making. In addition, we did everything we really set the bar high for ourselves. We really wanted to do things to a higher quality level, which is a challenge in and of itself. But like, what exactly is your target when you're setting a new target, and what are the consequences? We wrote Pretoria not as a retcon, not as a change to what the Pretorian storyline has been historically, but as an expanded point of view. We didn't want to change it. We wanted to give the other side of the story. In addition, we had what we've called internally Zoes, the glowing objects in the zone. This is something that, it seems easy. We've had glowing things in the game since the beginning. You go click on a whiteboard and
How hard can it be?
How hard could that be? That's the question that you should really find scary. Because what it ended up is like the game was written from the ground up, like expecting those to only be in a mission map. So it ended up providing an awful lot of time with QA, a lot of time with the mission team, and we ended up getting it to work in the end, but it definitely was somewhat of a challenge along the way.
It's on the short list.
In addition, sonic fencing. We didn't want to have war walls everywhere in Pretoria. I think people it didn't fit with the story, but I think, to a certain extent, we were tired of the war walls. We wanted to be able to see a long way. But so we have sonic fencing, the areas around the zones that keep you from flying out of the world. That ended up being a bigger challenge than we thought, because it required a significantly more coordination through multiple iterations across all the disciplines in the studio, with powers and was PAX, it was WorldArt, it was programming, it was another set of programming, and it ended up, we ended up pleased with the end result, but it was definitely one of those things where I was like, I can't believe it, there's another meeting about the song.
Can we almost go to Wayne one more?
You almost watched
one
it,
point
just go on, that was it.
you were left out of a couple of
Yeah.
meetings apparently, because it was,
I think Melissa and I at one point actually just said throw four walls through it.
I think Eric broke a couple of things.
You know, it was a visible wall.
So, okay. So anyway, what are the lessons we learned? First off, we wanted to do a few awesome things as opposed to a ton of average things, especially along development. You want to check things off the list. You want to say, that's good enough, man, we can ship with that. But, you know, just because we can ship with it doesn't mean that's what we want to do to put our best foot forward. So we really focused on making a few decisions there. Like I've been trying to say forever, that you can do anything in a video game, that's not the same thing as doing everything. Doing everything is a bad choice. Consider what the players are asking for versus what you've designed. Once we went into beta, we had a lot of things that we thought were the right way to do it. We were getting feedback from the players that there were other approaches we should have. So we really wanted to take that feedback to heart, and really we wanted people to play the content. We wanted them to enjoy the work we were doing. That said, we wanted to stick to our original concept. We made decisions for a reason. We wanted to remember what our reasons were and take the feedback and change things to meet both our goals as well as players' goals. And finally, never let an edge case bring you down. Like, no matter how many meetings you've had about